This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our exclusive multi-state cannabis operator sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's top vertically integrated medical and wellness cannabis operators. With 50 local dispensaries, 14 cultivation sites, and 13 processing facilities, serving up more than 165,000 registered medical marijuana patients. You can learn more about Curaleaf over at curaleaf.com, with Curaleaf spelled Curaleaf. That's curaleaf.com. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, January 21st, 2020, and you're tuned in to episode 869 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Randy Robinson over Mary Jane kicks off our news week with a pickup of a terrible proposed bill in Washington state that would, more or less, gut the entire state's legal marijuana industry. The bill, HB 2546, would, if passed, limit legal marijuana products to having no more than 10% THC, which would eliminate entirely the sale of cannabis concentrates, tinctures, extracts, and edibles, while severely handicapping the availability of flower, as most commercial strains nowadays measure out around the 20% THC mark. Given the monumentally terrible impact that the bill would have, one would hope that this bill is dead on arrival, but stranger things have happened in government. Pop over to Mary Jane for more on this. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Presidential candidate Joe Biden is back in the marijuana news, this time for an interview he gave on Friday to the New York Times editorial board, in which he said he thought the issue of marijuana legalization needed more research and that science should be the deciding factor on whether or not cannabis should be made legal, slightly ignoring the fact that the legalization genie has already been let out of the bottle, with now the majority of U.S. states having some form of legalization. Biden was a leading prohibitionist lawmaker back in the 1980s when the federal government enacted racist sentencing guidelines that punished people caught with crack cocaine at a rate of 100 times more than people caught with cocaine. It's notable to point out that crack cocaine was seen by federal lawmakers as a drug used by black consumers, while powder cocaine had the reputation of being used by white people. Joe Biden is an architect of today's racist drug war, has done nothing to rectify those contributions, and continues to spout ridiculous prohibitionist talking points even today. Just say no to Joe Biden. Our final top story today has us out in Illinois, where the state's medical marijuana dispensaries are reportedly having a hard time keeping their shelves stocked, as legal adult use marijuana sales have been allowed as of the start of the new year. We've seen this exact same situation play out in a lot of other states that have transitioned from having just a medical market to also allowing for adult use. Illinois' supply woes have mostly been caused by a huge amount of demand from the new adult use market, coupled with a shortage of supply by licensed cultivators, who were given no time at all to ramp up their operations to cover both the adult use and medical markets. This is an issue we should probably all try to learn from, so not a bad story to also read in full today. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's top multi-state cannabis operators with 50 local dispensaries, 14 cultivation sites, and 13 processing facilities, serving up more than 165,000 registered medical marijuana patients. Curaleaf is proud to feature at each of its dispensaries a unique selection of quality products at competitive prices. You know that when you walk in the door at a Curaleaf shop, you're in good retail hands, whether you're at one of Curaleaf's medical marijuana dispensaries or at one of their new adult use stores. Curaleaf covers the entire legal cannabis spectrum with Curaleaf medical marijuana, Curaleaf hemp, and Yuku craft cannabis, so you're likely to find a matching product for whatever your legal marijuana needs are. Swing over to Curaleaf.com today, spelled Curaleaf, to check out their new website packed with all kinds of helpful information about the good things done over at Curaleaf, including their support of the Veterans Cannabis Project, found at vetscp.org. That very worthy organization works to expand medical marijuana access by military veteran patients. Big thanks to everyone at Curaleaf for helping us keep our news lights on. All right, time for the Blitz. Marijuana Business Daily has a story up about Atlanta-based multi-state cannabis operator Surterra Wellness, which owns the second largest chain of dispensaries in Florida and is canceling the delivery service it had been running throughout the state, with the exception of its service area down in the Keys. In a notice sent to customers about the halting of the delivery service, Surterra said that it was shutting it down while evaluating its overall delivery strategy. Canadian marijuana giant Canopy Growth just issued an announcement that its planned rollout of marijuana-infused drinks in the Canadian market, newly opened up for the sale of edibles and drinks, is being delayed. No timetable for the new launch was given, though Canopy did say they'd have more on that when they update their third quarter results for the fiscal year 2020. Dan Adams over at the Boston Globe is reporting that the Massachusetts marijuana company Tilt is changing up the way that it does business in the state. Tilt has been criticized for deals it works with local entrepreneurs that offer up funding to start dispensaries, but that come packed with all kinds of expensive and burdensome strings that require them to buy pricey products from Tilt and that effectively give over control of their shops to the larger business. The situation got so bad that the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission was ready to vote down proposed Tilt shops last year due to the unfair nature of the contracts. As Dan is reporting, the company's new approach has apparently changed enough to now pass muster. Not a bad one to read if you do any kind of business in Massachusetts. The Cook County Board of Illinois just passed a 3% tax on marijuana dispensaries that will, when added in with all the other taxes levied on legal cannabis, bring the effective tax rate at some city shops to more than 41% by this summer. That's definitely on the high side of legal marijuana taxes when compared nationally, and will turn a $50 product in Chicago into a $70 purchase. This is one of the big reasons why the illicit market still exists in places where marijuana is legal. This next story should surprise no one, as the Associated Press is reporting that marijuana sales at dispensaries in Oregon that are close to the Idaho border are 420% higher than the state's average. Idaho does not allow for legal cannabis, so it makes complete sense that Idaho residents would travel to nearby Oregon shops to stock up to take home. Idaho residents, for not having legal marijuana themselves, are at least blessed by legal proximity, with neighboring Nevada and Washington also allowing for marijuana sales. Late last week, a California-based company announced that it had trademarked the word psilocybin for the use of the word in educational materials. The company, itself called Psilocybin Chocolates, makes non-infused chocolates and is being criticized for trademarking the term, especially by activist groups afraid that it could cause friction in their work trying to pass more sensible psilocybin laws. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moment reached out to Scarlett Raven, the owner of Psilocybin Chocolates, about the concerns raised, and she said, and I quote here, "We're all here to follow spirit guidance to show love and light, and the visions I had of doing what we're doing now was based upon breaking boundaries and breaking perceptions and allowing people to have an opportunity to sink into being one unit." Unquote. If anyone has any idea what that means, please email me. Kyle's story is a good one. Swing over for the full read. And finally for today, the Canalog blog has a story that you also need to read, reminding us all that with yesterday being Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the legalization of marijuana is, at its very heart, a civil rights issue. Marijuana and other drug laws have historically been designed and implemented as a way for authorities to crack down on non-white communities, and the lifting of prohibition is just the start of fixing the problem. That's why social justice programs like automatic expungement and interest-free loans and easy licensing for non-white entrepreneurs is vital to build in from the start. Read this one. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Curaleaf, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.